This is Alex.
That's me!
He just got his driver's license.
Yahoo!
Now, with his insurance and his license, he can finally legally drive.
Wait, what? Insurance? Why do I need insurance?
Well, first, because it's required by law. But let's look at some other reasons. You might try to avoid an accident and end up parked in a raised flower bed.
Oof.
Now you need to fix a sign, a flower bed, and your truck. Your car might catch fire after a fender bender on I-15.
Whoa.
You'll be responsible for the car you rear-ended, and if another car caught fire, you'd be responsible for that too. You could hit a pedestrian you didn't see in the crosswalk. Do you know how much medical bills cost?
Ooh, that was close. Ouch!
You might be T-boned running the light, and you'd be responsible for all of the damages. Can you see how you might be responsible to pay back a lot of damages? That's where insurance comes in.
And if I didn't have insurance?
You'd be sued for the damages. You could lose everything you own and your license.
Oh. Okay, my mom says I'm listed as a driver on the insurance. Want to see how fast my dad's car can go from 0 to 60?
That's a bad idea.
But I don't have to worry because the insurance will fix anything that goes wrong.
Not exactly. Let's talk a little more about how insurance works. There are different parts of an auto insurance policy. The liability portion is what is required by the state and is meant to cover the damages that you cause to others. It is your liability, or what you are responsible to cover. The optional portion of auto insurance is the portion that will repair your own vehicle if you wreck it. But within each of those two types of insurance, there are specified coverages and different limits for each coverage.
This sounds boring.
Well, let's try it this way. This is you, driving from 0 to 60 in your dad's car.
Yahoo!
And this is a car that pulls out in front of you.
Hey, they cut me off. It's their fault.
But you were speeding.
So, I was on the road first. I had the right of way.
The only way to resolve it is to get a police report. So the police come and say you are at fault because you were speeding, and they were completely turned onto the road before you got to them.
Dumb.
Yes, but you have insurance, remember?
Yeah, now what?
You'll set up a claim with your insurance company. Within a few days, you'll get a call from the adjuster to ask you about what happened, and the adjuster will give you the next steps. From there, the adjuster will determine what coverages you have that apply to the incident and if you have the limits to pay for the damages.
It doesn't just pay it all?
No, insurance has specific coverages and limits that you pay for. The cheapest option is the state minimum limits. For Utah, as of 2025, that is $30,000, $65,000, $25,000, meaning that there is a limit of $30,000 for any one injured person, and $65,000 is the limit for all injuries of the other party in the accident, and the $25,000 will repair the damages to the vehicle.
What if it costs more than that?
The other party will set up a claim with their insurance, and then their insurance will sue you to pay the difference.
Can I have more insurance then?
Absolutely. We recommend having higher insurance limits. At minimum, we recommend having at least $50,000 to $100,000, $50,000. But having higher coverage limits isn't as expensive as you might think, so it's worth it to see what the higher limits might be.
Okay, what if I had the 50 and 100 one?
Let's say there were two people in the car you hit. One got a concussion and the other had some whiplash. There is enough coverage for up to $50,000 for each of them. If their vehicle is totaled and it happens to be a 2025 Chev Malibu worth $25,800, then you have enough coverage, but you wouldn't have if you had the state minimum limits.
What if it wasn't a car but a truck instead?
A 2025 Ford F-350 averages at a worth of $60,000, so you don't have enough coverage.
Uh-oh.
And what if you push them into another car? Or if it was a 2025 Chev Camaro worth $72,000?
I guess it might be worth thinking about higher coverage.
It's definitely worth getting some quotes. There may not be a lot of new Camaros driving around in your area, and a multi-vehicle accident may not be as likely, if you're driving carefully. But you never plan on an accident either. So it's a fear versus pocketbook. What insurance limits are you willing to pay for to protect you from possible accident scenarios?
I guess that makes sense. Oh, what about my dad's car?
Great question. While liability covers damages you cause to others, the comprehensive and collision coverage is what will repair your vehicle. Comprehensive is for things like hitting a deer or vandalism, so that doesn't apply here. Collision coverage is for when you hit something. This is the applicable coverage for this scenario.
What kinds of limits do I need?
In this case, the insurance company automatically assigns the actual cash value of the vehicle, but what you do select is the deductible. The deductible is the amount that you pay before the insurance kicks in.
So, 0?
It could be, but that does increase the price of the insurance. The most common deductible is $500, but if you increase it, the price of the insurance lowers.
So, if I have the $500 deductible, that's what I pay the mechanic guy to fix the car, and the insurance pays for the rest?
Basically, yes.
What if my dad's car is totaled too?
Then, the insurance company gives you an option to give up the vehicle, and you get paid the value of the vehicle minus the deductible. Or you have the option to keep the vehicle with a lower payout amount to put towards fixing it.
So is that everything then?
There are a few more things, like what if you get hurt in the accident? There's a coverage called Personal Injury Protection, or PIP coverage, also known as PIP. The standard amount is about $3,000.
I don't think that's enough if I really get hurt.
You're right. The purpose of PIP is to just get you started on your recovery. Once the limit is hit, your health insurance should take over. But you can also increase the limit if you choose, for an additional premium.
Okay. Wow, insurance thinks of everything.
Well, it is the business of preparing for things that could go wrong. Let's talk about another scenario. Imagine this is you, driving safely, because you've learned your lesson with the last accident, and someone comes and hits you.
Ha! Now their insurance has to pay for everything.
Except that they only have the minimum limits, so there's only $25,000 to fix your car.
But my dad's car is worth way more than that. It's a nice new car.
You'll have to file the claim on your insurance, and then the insurance company will go after the other guy's insurance to get the difference. That's called subrogation.
What if I'm hurt and there isn't enough for that?
There's another type of coverage you can have on your insurance. Uninsured and underinsured coverage, usually at the same limits as your liability coverage. This kicks in if the at-fault driver doesn't have enough coverage, or if they don't have insurance at all.
But it's illegal to not have any.
Yeah, but it happens. It's also applicable if it's a hit and run and you aren't able to find the at-fault driver. Now, any questions?
Yeah, my mom just texted me. She says I need to pay her $100 each month for my portion of the insurance. Can I get it cheaper by myself?
No, $100 a month for someone your age is a really good deal. So be nice to your parents so they'll keep you on until you get married or turn 25.
There isn't anything I can do?
Make sure you keep a clean driving record. Stick to a car that's cheaper to insure. And you can ask your insurance agent about available discounts, like a good student discount, or for taking a defensive driver course.
Anything else I need to know?
I think this is a good start. Good luck, and drive safe.